Welcome to the Success Rate. I'm Thuli Magubane. Today we are joined by a woman who is a trailblazer in the entertainment industry. Not only is she a broadcaster, but she has experience in marketing, PR, and even artist management, a field that is really dominated by men. So we're going to find out how she got into it and how she's managed to make a success of her career. Welcome, Bhoza. How are you?
Hello, Sissy.
I love the hair.
Thank you so much. I love your outfit.
Thank you, thank you.
And I also love the way you introduced me. I feel like I'm the girl.
You are the girl. Okay, just to start us off, if you had to be handcuffed to one person of your choice for 1 month, who would it be and why?
Nkosi yami, akusenzima. I would say my mother, my late mother.
Yes.
As much as you've been a good child and a bad child and whatnot, but as soon as you lose your parent, you lose your mother, you feel like I could have ngangat some more,
Yes.
So I think it's my mom, if I could just even bring her back so that I can just nganga those words of wisdom. And with all the changes that are constantly happening in my life, in our lives, Uguti, what would her uptake be? So I think it would be my mom, my late mom.
No, you have those moments, especially whether something great is happening or something not so great, you wish you could pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And call your mom and say, Ma,
Yeah.
and just cry.
Yeah. When you behind the scenes, you asked me about if I still go to Libahomo.
Yes, yeah.
And every single time I go home, it's weird for me because she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And under normal circumstances, when I'd come back from home, I know what I'll call home to say, "Ngihambe kahle,"
Yes, yeah.
But now, my guy, you literally just leave. You've left.
And that's it.
And that's it, Yeah.
I know, and it's true that a home is obviously not just a building. It's the people,
People that are in it.
it's the people there. So I can totally relate. I think even with us, after our mom passed,
Yes.
it's like there's no place you call home anymore, even though there is a house,
structure,
somewhere, a structure. But really understand, and that's unfortunately the journey of life. That
Absolutely.
we lose people along the way, but we carry them in our hearts. So with you starting off in the entertainment industry and coming from Limpopo, were you one of those girls, I'm a Jane come to Joburg when I got here?
Yeah,
You
shaking
can't
things
tell
up.
me anything.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Mina, I don't even want to lie. The way things happened for me,
Yes, yeah.
I think things just happened. And it was like shocking how things just happened the way they did. I mean, I was just a girl, okuletseng lewa kgomo.
Yes.
And I left home because I got a bursary to go study, to further my studies, go varsity. And that's how I ended up in Durban. And when I was in Durban, I joined radio. But letting out of curiosity, when you are young and you're just trying a whole lot of other things.
Yeah.
And I joined radio, campus radio. And then before I knew it, I was on DYR, which was at the time like the YFM of Durban.
Yes, yeah.
But it was just for the fun. But also, I'm the girl who likes talking. So it felt home. It felt very comfortable. And then natural events happened that I ended up go Joburg.
Yeah.
And
the events was just a natural progression from being in broadcasting, being exposed to the entertainment industry. So events, was it a natural progression for you?
no, not even.
Yeah.
Because I think when I came to Joburg, it was basically coming back because I had just finished my degree.
Yeah.
I was pregnant at that time. My family had issues. Uguti, this problem child is now going to be pregnant. And I came to Joburg.
Yes.
Because now I was like, okay, so I need to prove to my parents, Uguti, I'm not bringing a burden at home. I'm going to be able to support this child.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up in Joburg. And everything started from there. I started off a corporate. I've got a BCom in accounting. So I started off as a creditor's clerk somewhere. And I realized, Gucci, this is not me. I do not like this. I do not enjoy this. Why are you putting me in a
Yes.
dark hole,
Yes.
literally on my own, because people are told not to disturb me because there's too many numbers. I
Yes.
might just be confused. That time I'm thinking I even hate these numbers. Hey man, it was
And you have
a
to make
lot.
the numbers balance.
I had to make the numbers balance. I had to, yay. And I was like, this can't be my life.
Yeah.
And then I decided to change direction
Yeah.
altogether. That's how I went into studying PR and marketing. And I started doing gigs because just waking up and going to work for some reason
Yes, yeah.
was not enough for me. I started organizing gigs. This is in Pretoria, obviously Joburg, in clubs. I started having like certain days allocated to Bhoza is hosting on these days. Like I basically dominated like your Rosebank, your Senton, your Wynberg clubs,
Yes, yeah.
which was super, super cool.
And being a young woman in the club scene, what was that like?
Listen, it wasn't easy because I mean it was back then. I'm not revealing my age. I mean, if anybody wants to know,
They can Google.
no, they can't even Google. I'm 20. I mean, I'm clarifying it. I'm
Yeah.
20 years old,
Yes.
but with an experience for about more
Another
than
20
20 years.
years.
Yeah. So it was scary. But I think also the people that were around me at the time were super, super awesome.
Yeah.
Like I remember Abo Nick were next to me, Abo Raphael were next to me. So
Yeah.
it became easier because it felt like you've got bigger brothers that are
Yes.
looking out for you. As much as different venues were like, can you come and host, you know? But that for me was even short-lived because I decided to go to, it's not really my thing. I think organizing events at venues was more my thing. The club scene did not necessarily speak to me. Yeah.
What was it about the club scene? Is it some of the dark, dingy things we hear about in clubs?
It
Yeah.
was definitely because of the dingy things that we hear about. And some of the things you see them live, like happening in front of you. Yes, nobody comes to you to say, do this, try this. You understand?
Yes,
But
yeah.
the fact that these things are happening next to you and it seems like a normal situation, And I was also fortunate that I had like some of the people that supported me, some guys also said to me, Ish, the club scene, my sister. Because at some point I was even considering getting myself a club.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Ooh, then you need a gun.
I was going to be in it
Besides
now.
needing a gun, you need protection.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that's what they said to me, no, but you can't because I mean, when you're a girl and
Yeah.
you need to be packing, you need this, that, and there's going to be people with protection fees and things and
I'm
whatever.
seeing you as the queen, not of the South, but, queen of the North. I don't know if you've watched that series.
Yeah, Queen of the North, yeah.
So it's like the lady who is the drug dealer. And she has all these
no, it could never have been me. Mina, I've got a conscious, and I've always lived my life with a plan that I'm making my parents proud.
Yes.
And with at the moment, I'm just going to say it was a boo-boo at the time, having to fall pregnant, being that young. So my goal had always been, my
Yes.
parents need to be proud of this movement. And now you must remember, I'm moving away from the school
Yes, so
kind of thing. Now
accounting,
I am
yes.
doing my own things, the things that make me happy, of which at the time, you're going to follow what? Your talent, your what? You like, your interest, what? No, you're supposed to be a teacher, a doctor, a nurse. Like there were
Yes,
certain
yeah.
specific careers that one had to follow.
So when you sat down and you reflected and you said, these are the things that I enjoy,
Yeah.
and these are the things that I'm really good at, and this
Yeah.
is the path that I want
Wanna take.
to take. Was there a particular moment when you said, that's it, I'm leaving everything behind, whatever happens, I'm doing it?
I couldn't necessarily do that because here I am, I'm a single parent now. I'm not relying on my parents.
Yes.
In fact, this is when my parents need me, because my parents had me when they were quite old. So by
Yeah.
the time I went to high school, both my parents were pensioners.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm the breadwinner basically. So I can't risk. I'm a single parent. I have to make sure that my child goes to school. We eat everything. So I ended up dabbling between the two. I did my side hustle whilst I was going to corporate, but in corporate I was doing something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to survive.
Yes, yeah. No,
Yeah.
you need to, and especially as a young mother.
Yeah.
So do you think that your daughter really...
My son.
Oh, is it a son?
My
Oh,
son.
so to
Yeah.
really shaped who you became.
Absolutely.
That
I think
without them, you wouldn't have made some decisions that you have.
no, absolutely. I mean, I was used to having my room at home. Whatever it is that you put in the fridge, you will find it there. You know, the comfort of mama will take care,
Yes.
papa will take care. And here you are, you're in Joburg, you're on your own. And what do? Because I even made a conscious decision to stay with my son full time.
Yeah.
So it meant I needed to make sure that I provide, come rain,
Yes,
come
yeah.
shine. Hence, now I had to make peace with the fact that I become Bhoza Mphela in terms of this hustle, but then I must wake up in the morning and be a
mommy.
mpho. And do you understand me?
Be
So
mommy, yeah.
so I think that's what shaped me.
So, Bhoza, were there times in your career where, you know, things were tough and you just wanted to leave it all behind so that you go back to that boring accounting career so that you could have a consistent income?
I think before now, really, honestly, there wasn't. I think it's when I decided to focus more on now follow my dream, my love for music, my
Yes.
love for speaking, you know, that I literally quit corporate altogether. And I was like, you know what? I'm DJing, I'm emceeing, I'm managing, I'm doing PR and marketing for people and all that. And the reality of it now is you're living on invoicing.
Yes.
And sometimes people just don't pay you when they're supposed to pay you. So it's only, I think, when I became a full-on freelance worker that I realized that the struggles that we've been trying to fight for in the industry, even though I was in a comfortable space at the time when we started these fights, trying to engage like your ministers of sports and culture, around the struggles that are faced by artists, and in my particular position as an artist manager, I knew directly what they were going through.
True, yeah.
And this is why we then decided we are going to stand up for them. And now I'm for them. Now I'm them.
From for them to being
Kiri,
them.
now I'm them. Now I understand. Hey, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it is tough.
Yeah.
So the success rates, we talk about success. For you, what do you think is the biggest myth when it comes to success?
That success is uniform, that when people say success is driving a flashy car, living in a certain kind of apartment or place, that is success. That is not so.
Yeah.
That is not so.
So what is it for you?
So I'm going to give you a backstory.
Yeah.
So earlier on, I told you that I came to Joburg. When I came to Joburg, I lived Kohilbro. Solely because at the time I couldn't even go home. I remember I was part of a youth group that organized the World AIDS Day for Hillbro and Alex. And we were in partnership, the organization was in partnership with Wits University.
I see, yeah.
And as part of the stipend, you know, they paid us like 600 rands.
Wow.
And that's all I had, right? And then I decided to go, I'm looking for a place to stay. My guy.
Could you get anything with it?
Ka
Okay.
600 rand. I told you, I'm 20, but with
Yes.
experience of a
Yes,
20-year-old.
yes,
But
yeah.
at the time, a room in that particular place was 600 rand.
Wow.
So here I am, I'm walking in the streets, I'm looking for somebody to share. Because ka 600, I'm like, no, you know what, I can't just put it all
Everything,
in one
yes, you've gotta
for that
live.
1 month. I must live, or better still, can I just sort out my accommodation for 2 months?
Yes.
Yabo? And then everything else will take care of itself. But going home, I'm not going, because the parents must be proven, ukuthi lalela, this girl is going to make miracles out of
And
herself.
she can make it, yes.
She can make it, right? And then I meet this girl. She's charmed by my then dreadlocks, which were quite small. And she's like, oh my God, I love, and then I'm like, no, I can do dreads. And then she's like, okay, cool, then let's arrange. And then I'm like, no, Mamela, Mina, I'm here looking for somebody who wants to share a room. They want 600 rands, and I only have 600 rands. This girl is like, no, man, she's like, no, Mamela, ndinebed ebedini sihlala ku-sitting room, but kule bed we can share the bed as long as a bed is 300 rands. Ukipa 150, keep one. I'm like, girl, come, say no more, let us go. And then we go to see this place, and when we get there, there's like, oh my God, there's like 3 beds in a sitting room. Now you must understand, I'm not used to that.
Yes.
Right? There's like 3 beds, and I haven't seen the other people that are there, right? But I need a place to stay, and at least this one has no attachments or anything. So I said to this girl, no, I'm in. Cool, let's go to Laga Tinkala Corner so that I can fetch my stuff. Because now I don't want to lose this girl. I don't know it. Then we go, we fetch. So later on in the evening, I find out there's like 6 of us in the sitting room.
Wow.
Right? But I stayed because I've got shelter, which is the most important thing. I've got shelter. I'm in Joburg. This is a place of gold. This is where life happens. This is where dreams are realized. So I'm going to stay. So I stayed. When you ask me what success means for me, it means simple things. I'm not in the street.
Yes,
I've got my own place. And it's not even about renting or buying property or anything. But I've got my own car. I've got like, it's simple things, like from the girl who comes from a family whereby when I was in high school, both my parents were pensioners, to a girl who managed to go to varsity because there's a bursary that believed in me, to a girl who came to Joburg and also, on top of everything, managed to make a name for herself. It's the simple things that I went from a girl who arrived back and I could buy my own pots.
Yes.
I'm that girl who now has her own bed. She doesn't have to share her bed. I'm the
Not
girl,
unless you choose to.
unless I choose to.
Yes.
So I'm that girl who has her own things over time. So whatever that keeps on happening, that let's say you are in point A, you manage to move to point B, that is success.
Yes.
Never take that for granted. I mean, I still have the first pot that I bought for myself, I still have it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's little things like that humble you, that remind you, Uguti, Lalela. For the other people that have not been able to move from not having a pot to having their own pot,
Yeah.
we understand that, like, it's not because of their own doing.
True.
So success for me is everything. Being able to buy my clothes, being able to buy underwear, being able, like, every single small step that moves you from that point at the back to forward,
Yes.
that is success.
Any progress, forward movement.
Absolutely.
Suppose, yeah.
Absolutely.
And what's the biggest fear you have?
My fear now, that obviously my brother's now passed, my mother is not there, my father is not there. It would have been the fact that if I were to pass on, I'm not sure if my son is okay. So I think that's the biggest fear.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that my parents, like, God, Libadimu, they kept my parents for me.
Yes.
That by the time they left,
You
I
are
was
right.
independent.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
So I wish that for my son. Hore, if anything was to happen to me, let him also be independent. So I think that's my biggest fear, having to leave this earth. And yeah, his life is okopane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think you've instilled enough principles and lessons in him that if, the worst had to happen?
Absolutely. I mean, you must understand, I went through all life changes with him. In fact, I feel he was forced to grow up quickly because he literally became my partner.
Yes.
My partner in that when things were not hlanganing, he's the one who knows. Uguti, I tell him, Uguti, Mamela, we are trying to buy a TV, and because we are trying to buy a TV, it means this month we're not going to eat out 3 times because we are trying to buy it cash.
Yes.
Do you understand? So as a result, when he went to matric, I remember when he finished his matric after writing, he came to me, he's like, Mom, I am going to look for a job. And I was like, hey, bo! You look for a job. You are a job winner yourself. How are you going to find a job?
Yes.
And this child I said to him, okay, so you need to put together your CV. He's like, no, simple thing. I can work at a gym. I can work as a packer, whatever. And then I loved that, you know. I remember sitting down with him and saying, okay, let's put together your CV. And his CV could only have his name,
Shame.
his physical address, the name of the school. And then I said, no, let's just build it up and speak about your strengths and stuff so that at least we feel a page, nyana, you know. So I'm confident.
I'm glad that at least you know that he's on the right track.
But I'm not ready to die, though. Like, just saying.
I don't think anyone ever is, except for an enigma.
Except for rather enigma.
So, that's how enigma finally makes it to the success rate.
Oh, and this is the only. Okay.
Okay, so just kind of continue with your journey. I mean,
Sure.
some of the most challenging times you've had in the industry, being a woman, managing artists, having to negotiate their contracts, negotiate payments, and all of that, and just having the chutzpah to do it.
Yeah. Realistically speaking, it's been a male-dominated space. I mean, I'm probably amongst the first Black women that started managing artists proudly and boldly. So there were times where you would have meetings with these guys because they're booking your artist.
And they're waiting
And
for someone else to arrive.
yeah, one, they're waiting for someone to arrive, but also when you are firm, then they don't get it. They don't understand.
Yeah.
Or better still, you tell them this and they're like, no, but I still want to speak to him. I'm like, no, Lalela, I'm the mouthpiece. I'm here representing, I'm him right now. So whatever it is, let's talk about it now and sign. Because if you don't agree, then unfortunately you won't have him. And it's interesting how you still go through that even now, you know?
And do you think there's still that thing that people want to pay us less as women?
Absolutely.
And so obviously you're a woman trying to negotiate for a man.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, there's some of your ideas even to artists themselves that would say, I want us to do this and that and that. And then they like, no, they don't see it. And then they only realize maybe 3 years later. And then they come to you now. They're like, I want to do this. And you're like, how? But this is what we could have done 3 years ago. Because you know, mhlawumbe wena as a woman, you are forward thinking,
Yes,
like you would be in your own home, that you are able to preempt situations before they even happen, and you do that in your business life. And sometimes just because you're a girl who's saying this, then they're like, no, I'll tell you when I'm ready. I will whatever. You know?
And then managing your own business. I mean, obviously you have an accounting business.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, what are some of the challenges that you had running a business? Because you're not only just booking artists,
yes.
you're running a business.
Absolutely. I think the major challenges for me, honestly, it's with regards to issue of payments and just constantly negotiating with people on your payment arrangements, and also sometimes just charging people, and people are like always trying to negotiate, you know, type
Down.
of thing. Negotiate down, obviously. And you're like, but you came to me, so it means something, you know. So I think those are very challenging, especially right now when economically the world is not doing so okay. So the work that you do, you naturally just expect to be paid almost pronto. Yeah.
And then, is there any work that you did, you know, that you thought, oh, this is beneath me, but I'll do it because I have to pay the bills?
I'm going to tell you, when you're saying beneath,
Yeah.
okay.
People, you know, obviously people's perceptions.
Yeah.
For certain people, certain things are beneath.
beneath.
Yes.
Let me tell you, honestly, being an artist manager is not a colorful, like, job. Because what you do is you are managing someone's life. And it's because everything feeds into his or her career. So it means also you must tell him how he's supposed to live his life.
Yes.
You know, like it's important, don't go out like you are crazy. Time management is important. Even when they have dramas at their home, you possibly are going to be in there trying to negotiate better. They've got issues. He goes out, he comes back the following day. Some partners don't really understand. It's like, no, but you could have come home. You know what I mean? So
true.
there's quite a lot. And somebody would look at it and say, yeah, but you're basically someone's glorified PA. And actually, that's what it is. Because they tell you what they want. And basically, what you do is you go fetch that for them. And of course, you will spice it up and add on other things, like in terms of their brand management part. So now you are trying to get them their brand associated or attached to other brands and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's not really a cute job. You know, and because you this is the service that you're offering, you have to literally be humble to listen. Yeah, well.
Okay, so whatever they want, nothing is too too beneath you.
No, nothing is. Trust me, nothing is. And I think also for the success, let alone the success, my
Of your
own
artist,
success,
yeah.
but the success of my artist means a lot, because it also naturally becomes a reflection of me. So that is why I can't look at anything as beyond. Look, there's times. Let me make you an example. I'm recently managing Uroninyakal, right? So we were going to meet, but we're going to meet in a public space.
Yeah.
So it means now, as much as everybody would be like, oh, Bhoza OG, Bhoza this, that, but I'm meeting my client.
Yeah.
He is my client to me. And I know Manghamba no Roni. Like,
And people wanting to take
people
pictures.
want to take pictures for
Yes.
days. So
Yeah.
being in crowded spaces is a nightmare. So naturally then it means, so we're meeting at 10. At 9 o'clock I must be there. I must be going to suss out venues. Like, where are we meeting? Is there people? We understand, can I control the crowd if it's that packed?
Yeah.
So you do that, and you even forget to go to, but I'm the Bhoza who walks the red carpet. And then, you leave that behind, and at this point, my paying
Yes.
client must be happy.
Yes, yeah. Talking about the red carpets, when I was on your Instagram, I saw all the outfits. You're quite the fashionista.
I'm a lover of things.
Yes. Would there ever be a time that maybe you branch out into fashion?
Actually, when I left my previous employ, the
Yeah.
corporate, I've had a couple of people saying to me, if you were to actually have a shop, Yadiaparo, I would actually buy, because I love how you coordinate clothes.
Yes, yeah.
I've just never really gotten to it, but I think it's still in the pipelines. For now,
Well,
I'm
I
still...
guess, you're also a stylist for your artists.
I am also a stylist for my artists.
Yeah.
But some of them, they are not as adventurous as I am. But we try to tone it down. But we'll get somewhere.
And the phrase "dress for success," do you believe in that?
I feel like it's important for you to take yourself seriously in terms of how you look, because when you arrive in places, they are not going to know your personality. And I don't want to talk about beauty, because I feel like that's something that you just came with. You're not responsible.
True,
Do you
yeah.
understand? So you could easily be a beautiful person, but a sucky person who understand that deep down and not have any skills and not have, you understand, but you're just a beautiful person. But in terms of how you put your clothes together, how you take your image seriously, that for me is like when you walk in, it's important for people to notice, okay, Stegafigile,
Yes.
with her big throw and how she puts her clothes together. So how you wear your clothes, how you put your clothes together, it's super, super important. People give you a chance, because in fact, there's a video that I saw recently on the socials. The spotlight was on this guy.
Yeah.
It's an international video. The guy is homeless.
Okay.
So he's scruffy and everything, and he's obviously dressed like he's a homeless guy.
Yes.
And what this gentleman did is that he took this homeless guy into a salon. They
Cleaned
washed
him
him
up,
up and
yeah.
everything. But before they did that, they gave this guy an assignment to walk around and ask for help and ask for directions. It was actually directions to a library. And this guy, it was almost like the guy is invisible, because he was just asking, sorry, ma'am, I'm looking for directions to a library. And they just looked at him and walked away. Looked at him and walked away. Like, no matter the race, they treated him like that.
Yeah.
They took him in to the salon, zhuzhed up the guy, hair, everything, suited the guy.
Yeah.
The first person he asked, he did exactly the same thing,
yeah.
of asking for directions. Listen, people were standing, they were GPSing for him, trying to check. That's how you realize, Uguti, don't take how you look for granted.
True.
I don't take it for granted.
Very true. Did I leave my phone up there or did I bring it with me? I need my fire. Here.
Yeah. I feel like there's weapons in that.
No, there's no weapons.
I feel like there's weapons aimed at me. The questions.
Okay, are you ready?
Whoa. Okay, I'm always ready. Let's
Ready,
go.
born ready.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a collection of anything? What do you collect?
I collect jeans.
How many do you have?
I have no idea. Like, I probably have like hundreds and hundreds. I collect jeans. I remodel jeans. I'm obsessed with jeans. In fact, I think if I'm to branch into a clothing something, it's probably going to be jeans.
Denim.
Yeah.
Okay. Outdoor or indoor events?
Can I say both? Can I be bi about it and say both? I think for me,
Why?
I always
Yeah.
say there's a mood for everything. It all depends what exactly you're doing, but both indoor and outdoor can be super, super fun.
Okay. And what's your favorite DJ Khanyani song?
DJ Kanyane's song, it's Shigubu.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have your own Netflix account or do you use someone else's?
I have my own Netflix account.
Okay. And if you had to learn a foreign language, what would it be?
It will
and
have
why?
to be French. It will have to be
French.
French,
Why-
darling.
why?
Because it's romantic. I don't know why I think my R speaks to the French, but it's romantic.
Romantic. Okay. So if you had to like maybe move to another country and start off, afresh, doing what you're doing now, which country would you move to?
New York. I feel there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm basing this on my one travel that side and also having lived in Johannesburg and coming from Limpopo. I feel like it's also, New York for me is also a melting pot of variety of people that are searching for something, that are dreamers, that want to do better, that want to change their status quo.
yeah.
So, and what I even love more is the fact that they are even prepared to do just about anything to stay in New York so that they can,
Make
be
it,
the
yeah.
people that they want. So I think if I were to move from here, it will probably be New
And
York.
they say if you've made it in New York, you can make it anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely. But also, if you've made it in Johannesburg, you can make it anywhere.
No, because I've heard stories similar to what you said. When you moved to Joburg, you shared
Listen,
a lounge with 6
girl.
other people.
Girl.
Those stories are very common in New York.
Kere.
People coming from wherever and moving into a tiny apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read Viola Davis's a book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the same thing.
In fact, I've got a friend, South African friend. White guy. He left South Africa because, I'm going to try and live my life and I'm
Yes.
going to do better opportunities and stuff. Arrives in London. First of all, this is a guy who had a place in Four Ways. Place, very nice, very posh, wide open, very nice accommodate home, actually. And then guy arrives in London and he can't even live in London.
Wow.
He has to live in the outskirts of London. And it's almost like he is living in a commune because he has his own little Pondokinyana room. Like, I was shocked when he actually video called me and he said, this is my room.
Wow.
And he just went like this is my room. And that's how you realize with sometimes searching for dreams and goals and just wanting different means you must just minimize yourself and do what needs to be done so that you get the outcomes that you want.
You need to sacrifice certain things to get what you want.
Yeah, because a big house in South Africa was not getting him anything, if you think about
True,
it.
yeah.
And I watch him now. He is traveling a lot from that angle. I mean, he's earning in pounds, so it's so much better for him as much as he lives in a
True.
miniature place.
And the next chapter for Bhoza, what does it hold?
Look, Bhoza woke up one day and said, I've always loved music. My parents were always subjected to me dancing and trying to sing along to all these songs.
Yes.
And again, I'm 20. It's just that, but I had a music book. So I know that's also telling how old I am. And unfortunately, throughout my life, I've had to adjust and, do the things that make sense, considering the fact that I was bringing up my son. But now, Guy is there on his own. I'm here on my own. I've gone into DJing. I'm obviously emceeing. I'm speaking a lot. Look, I've been speaking throughout the years, but I'm speaking more. So I think that's exciting for me because I get to do the things that feel effortless for me. So.
And then lastly, if you had to speak to your 25-year-old self and give them advice based on how your life has turned out now, what would you say to her?
I would say, be like Bhoza. I'm saying that because I think when I look back, I realized how adaptive I've been, how resilient I've been, how some plots and plans changed because this is what the world needed now. And it's almost taking me to what is currently happening right now, how the world has changed, not just for me, but it's changed for the rest of us.
Yes.
A whole lot of things. Even when you watch, for example, the Summers or the whatever awards, you also realize how things have shifted. How the personalities that were personalities at the time, they are no longer the personalities because
the it girls
now
have
the it girls are no longer the it girls. Now there's like an entire crop of people. So my main thing would be like Bhoza, be adaptable, do not fear change, be willing to change, and just roll with it. Roll with the punches.
I like that. Roll with the punches. And I think that would be a perfect place to wrap our interview.
Thank you
Rolling
so
with the punches. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Thuli, for having me. It was awesome to be in the seat.
It was
but
a
most
pleasure.
Importantly, to share our journey. And this is why we just hope that sometimes we help the young and upcoming to learn from us and maybe to take lessons here and there and possibly do better.
Like that, do better. If you've enjoyed today's episode with Bhoza, make sure that you comment and like the episode, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. I'm sure there's some really important lessons that you picked up from Bhoza's story, and I was very encouraged in terms of her resilience and her chutzpah to say, I'm a woman and I'm gonna make it.